So today, for the first time, I have seen a campaign mode called Discovery Mode in my Spotify for Artists, and I'm based in the UK. That's why I'm seeing it. But I believe if you're based in the US, you've already probably had Discovery Mode for a while, and if you're in some other countries, you may or may not have it. So it depends on where you're based, and it is in beta mode. And as soon as you get Discovery Mode, you could also get Marquee Mode enabled. I think Marquee is paid advertising, and what Marquee does is it shows you songs you're about to release and which ones are eligible for Marquee. But for some reason, none of mine are eligible. It could be that it's because I'm not the main artist on these songs. It could be any reasons, but we're going to be focusing in this video on discovery mode. So let's get in there. So what is discovery mode? So discovery mode is, according to Spotify for Artists, a way to get heard. And what that means is that push your song out a little bit more to the algorithm. And the algorithm in this case is radio. So to push your song out to radio, I think there's also another, here we go. Let's just click on Learn How. And there's a whole bunch of information in Spotify for Artists that sort of explains to you what happens. But it will basically say, meet your next fans. Your tracks are prioritized over other tracks. And it's basically just pushing your song into the algorithm. Usually, the thing about algorithmic support from Spotify, that's normally based on performance. So normally song gets pushed out because you performed really well. But in this case, it's just saying, we're going to give your song a bit of a boost, and forget the fact that it's nothing to do with performance now. It's more to do with we're going to boost the song. And the catch is you're going to get 30% less in royalties. Here we go, how payment works. A 30% commission is applied to recording royalties generated from all streams of selected songs in discovery mode context. And these are those in Spotify Radio and Autoplay. I've not really heard of Autoplay, but radio is definitely there. So my assumption is if the songs are sitting in Spotify Radio, more Spotify Radio than normal, those will get 30%, but any other streams are going to remain commission free. In fact, that's what it says here. All other streams of those songs outside of radio are commission free. So it's going to be this kind of weird combination of the streams are fine. They're not going to be commissioned unless they're in those two playlists. So that's totally cool. Now, that's the good thing is if you are kind of a smallish artist, you don't need to pay for this. You get exposure. You don't need to pay. But I think that's quite an interesting sort of concept. Now, the other thing is you can only really have discovery mode. I'm just going to a smaller artist here. Glowwave's a pretty small artist. If you meet the requirements, basically. So if you have 5,000 streams in the past 28 days, or you have at least 1,000 followers in your country that the campaign can target. So tricky one. This VXT artist has quite a few thousand followers, but this new artist doesn't, so it can't do it. So let's just go back to VXT. Super cool. So once you get into discovery mode, then you can select Edit April campaign. Now, I've actually done this already, and what I've done is I've actually selected every single song that is eligible. Now, I don't know exactly what makes a song eligible, and maybe it's newness or, relative, because most of these are relatively new songs, and some of these are actually pretty old songs, but they do have more than 5,000 streams. But there's a couple really weird ones. So this particular song here isn't that new. That came out in December. But it has only 500 streams. So I'm not exactly sure the criteria, but it's probably a combination of newness and stream count. So I've just gone ahead and selected every single song, particularly these last few ones, because they're getting no streams at the moment. Well, very, very few streams. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. There's some that are getting regular streams, like these two songs, this third song, and some newish songs that are still getting some streams. But they're going to probably peter out. So let's just see what happens. It'll be interesting to see if one of these songs takes off. Out of these 21 songs, if one takes off, it's kind of worth it. Okay, so let's just click on next, and it just tells you the start and end date. So it's only going to work for 1 month. I don't know what's going to happen after the end of that month, but it is what it is, and it will just charge you that 30% like we just discussed. You've got to click yes and submit, and we are done. Now what's going to happen here is it's not going to start until the 1st of April. It's not going to finish until the end of April, but you're going to see some statistics on the 11th of April. So it'll be interesting to see how the statistics, and they do show you how the statistics affect your streams. So it'll be really interesting to see what's happened there. And as I said, there's quite a lot of information here. There's discovery mode performance reports, which I think is an interesting thing to read. I think this is what's going to come out when on the 11th of April. So I think let's wait until the 11th of April or after the 11th of April, which is actually exactly a month from today, that I'll do a follow-up video after that, and I'll let you guys know how the campaign went and if anything interesting happened. I do have a slight concern with the discovery mode in that, obviously, any smaller artist is going to want to use this. So the concern is it's going to push songs out less on algorithm and more on the fact that people are taking less commission. And it's going to be, you're almost going to have to do this. And the only winner here is Spotify, I think. I think users are going to be punished a little bit for this because it means they're going to get maybe less relevant songs being pushed out to them. But that's just a theory. I don't really know if that's the truth. And at the end of the day, if everybody in the world is using discovery mode, Spotify pays their 30% less commission and everyone's getting less money. But you're competing in the same pool. So your stream lift might not be that good, but if you don't have discovery mode, you may not get discovered at all. And that's, a lot of people have said it, but that's potentially a race to the bottom here. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't really diminish the whole overall Spotify experience. So that's it for me today. And until next time, if you want to get a follow-up to this, subscribe, click on that notification bell because I will be following up. See ya.